Oilersnation After Dark begins now.
The Edmonton Oilers. They're in the midst of a 4-game losing streak for the first time since November of 2023. We all remember how that one ended with Jay Woodcroft. Another game, the Oilers, they started out good. They got the first goal. Another game where they slowly shit the bed throughout that one. As the Oilers, they allow a couple of unanswered ones and lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning down at Amalie Arena. Hello, welcome, Oilers Nation After Dark. After another disappointing evening of Edmonton Oilers hockey, I'm your host, Aaron Bordato, and I'm getting tired of doing shows like this. This hasn't been very fun the last 3 of these. ONAD, though, it is a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. There's one positive. The Bankroll did okay on this evening, but this evening I'm also joined by Zach Laing. Zach, what was your middle name again? Can you please share for the class?
Johannes.
Zachary Johannes Laing, the one, the only. Zach, another disappointing result here for the Edmonton Oilers. I'll go through the chat in just a second, but give me a vibe check. Oil losers of 4 straight in a row.
Yeah, not great. I mean, first 4-game losing streak of the season. In the grand scheme of things, is it the biggest of deals? Probably not. There's still a lot of season left to play. There's a lot of season that's been played. Is it frustrating right now? Of course it is, but that's why we are here. You're therapists, for you to vent in the chat to, let it all out. This is a safe space. You guys can vent. We can talk about everything that happened tonight. Obviously a disappointing one, right? It's kind of funny because I was sitting there watching this game and I was like, both of our keys to victory kind of went out the window. Your key to victory really was the power play, which was great because the Oilers got a power play goal in the first period. The only problem was that they kind of couldn't stay out of the penalty box and let a power play goal against them in the second, and it kind of got away. And then, my key to the game was like a start and maintain it, keep it up through the second period. And the Oilers got outscored 2-0 in the second period, and the rest is history, Bordzy. So definitely a disappointing loss. 2 games left in the road trip, 1 game closer to the trade deadline.
Yeah, it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better, as the Florida Panthers are up next on Thursday, and then the Carolina Hurricanes on Saturday. It's dark times, but I like what you said. Come on, you're in the trust tree here, people. It's Oilers Nation After Dark for a reason. I call it unlicensed therapy from unlicensed therapists in myself and Zach Laing. But let's check in on our patience, if you will, in the chat, because, if there's one positive that I'm seeing in the chat, everybody's upset, but it seems like everybody's in agreement this isn't all on Stuart Skinner. So I'm taking that as a positive because positives are all the way down here. But K. Waddy says nothing on Stu today. Team got thoroughly outplayed by a superior opponent. Patrick, unreal game from our Oilers. I think he's being sarcastic. JHB time to trade Bouchard for future considerations. Yep. Chuck that one up. Not a great game for one Evan Bouchard TV. Putting it lightly here. We're in a tad bit of a slump, he says. I think you could say that again, TBJR. The only positive I see is that Leon scored again. Yeah, you will recognize today's good from Sunday's good as well, because let me know what other positives you got going on right now. I did mention Stuart Skinner looked good at points in this game, had a backbreaking one that he allowed that kind of changed this whole game. Kiana, she's always positive. She says, not what we wanted, but it's an 82-game season. We can still bounce back. It's still a cup. Yeah. Doug is in. He says, Stu let in one week one and tried to keep us in that game. Leave him alone. Blame the team. Bella, can't win them all, but sure would like to start winning some again, but it's still a cup. Yeah. Though, Patrick, we're just 1 8-game losing streak away. That one made me laugh. Tammy, I'm positive this 4-game losing streak sucks ass. Yep. As I mentioned, getting kind of tired of doing these shows. Cato then said, I have no words, just waiting in pain for Bordzy. You know what you should do if you're in pain? You should get yourself some Odd Company Nation Beer Everyday Lager. 2 Odd Company locations in the Edmonton area. or just check them out, liquorconnect.com. Find out where you can find these bad boys, because on nights like this, weeks like this, tell you, Odd Company Nation beer does make me feel a little bit better. But the week of darkness continues, as producer Patrick Buff said behind the scenes before the show. 4 losses consecutive in a row. But Zach, I guess I want to take it from the top, as you probably do. The Edmonton Oilers in this hockey game, right? Oops, sorry. The compete and effort level, I would say, was miles ahead of the weekend, miles ahead of what they had Sunday against the Washington Capitals. Don't even know what that was, but you could tell the Oilers were motivated from the start. You could tell they smelled the 4-game losing streak, and they knew they had a tough opponent in the Tampa Bay Lightning. But they had some sloppy turnovers in the first period. I shit you not, it wasn't even a minute into that hockey game, Evan Bouchard turned one over behind the net. Shout out Stuart Skinner, because he did make the big save. And for a number of moments there in the beginning of that first period, Stuart Skinner was on his game. But the more it went along in the first, felt like a little bit of a boxing match, right? A feeling out process between these two teams. The Oilers, knowing who they're playing against, trying to tread lightly, not turn the puck over like one Evan Bouchard was doing it. But everything felt better in that first period, right? The effort I mentioned, the Oilers, they were checking harder, defended better. The goaltending was way better. Stuart Skinner had an awesome start into this hockey game. You get the 1-0 lead on a Leon Draisaitl give and go, simple, untouched power play goal. I don't know what the hell the Tampa Bay Lightning were doing on that one. You then allow the Kasperi Kapanen turnover, but you leave that first period going, okay, tie hockey game, feeling pretty positive about this. You had the bad turnover, but hey, you're in this thing. You're ready to go. And then the second period comes, Zach, and that is where things start to go wrong. Starts off with a brutal goal to allow 30 seconds into that period, right? Brandon Hagel, we all know it. He's a dog, but there is no excuse for that one. Stuart Skinner, way too late on a side-to-side movement. Evan Bouchard standing right there in front of the net, making the most lackadaisical play to prevent a goal that you'll ever see. And then you take a couple penalties. You allow a shorthanded or a power play goal against, I should say. And then all of a sudden, it's a 2-goal lead to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And when a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning have a 2-goal lead, they're going to choke it out of you, man. They're going to strangle the life out of you. They had suffocating layered defense. Shout out to Rosa there as well. She's making me feel a bit better. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they don't allow a lot defensively the rest of the game. And, dude, they were content to play dump and chase. It was a bad stretch there in the second period, about 5.5 minute stretch. And just like that, felt like the Oilers were never back in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's kind of the way that I felt about this one too. Like there was some good moments for the Oilers in this game. I thought they had a good first period, and the way they started the second, I mean, that was just so frustrating to see on essentially, the first shift of the game, right? For the Lightning to be able to come out and score the way that they did on a goal like that, just crashing the party. It was disappointing to see. There's no other way to put it, right? I mean, Skinner doesn't get across quick enough. He's not able to stop the wraparound attempt there. Bouchard, yeah, I mean, I guess you'd like to see him with a bit of a harder play there. Kind of coasted past Brandon Hagel there, but it felt like there was moments for the Oilers to kind of get themselves back into this game. They just didn't really take advantage of them. One interesting thing that I was just kind of thinking about as the show kind of started here, like, it's really felt like the Oilers have just not been shooting the puck a whole lot here as of late, right? And I mean, you take a look at this game here, right? 9 shots in the first, 10 in the second, 5 in the third, 24 shots on goal in total. Like that's not anything conducive to success for this team. And even when you go back and look at these last 3 games, the Edmonton Oilers blue line has taken 33 shots on goal. The entirety of the Edmonton Oilers forward group has taken 34 shots on goal over that time. The forwards are just absolutely allergic to shooting the puck right now. It's frustrating to see. It's disappointing to see. They're going to turn it around at some point here. The hope is you can walk out with, a win or 2 here to close out this road trip against the Panthers and Hurricanes. Maybe find something to feel a little good about. Kind of hard to do right now.
Yeah, right. It's feeling pretty negative. I'm seeing in here. Jeff Skinner's in. He says, you know who shoots the puck? Me. So maybe Jeff Skinner will be an addition. I like seeing that he's tuning into Oilers Nation After Dark. Nathan said the Oilers just being too cute with it. Your pal Joe, the neutral zone turnovers were wild. Yeah, turnovers, right, this past weekend and today continued to kind of plague the Edmonton Oilers. Evan Bouchard, I mentioned, turned the puck over in his own end literally 30 seconds into that hockey game. It felt like Stu did make the stop, but then the Oilers, they had the 1-0 lead. Kapanen turns it over, very lackadaisical in the neutral zone. And then it's not a turnover, right? But what was it? The Nick Paul goal. Darnell Nurse is all the way pinched down. And give Nikita Kucherov credit, because I don't know how he even thought of sending that pass all the way down the ice. But who knows? We did see over the weekend Matthias Janmark get healthy scratched because he had a brutal turnover in neutral ice against Philadelphia on Saturday. I wonder if Kasperi Kapanen will be getting that same treatment after what happened here. But I want to talk about the other Skinner in one, Stuart Skinner, because I do think he was good in this game, especially the first period. He finishes with 32 saves on 36 shots for an .889 save percentage. And dude, he was on it early, right? He stopped a prime Tampa scoring chance right off that Bouchard turnover. He then had another big save off the rush. He then robbed Brandon Hagel with his glove with a diving glove save to the left. And he was fantastic to start the game. There's really no word for it, right? And it was good for a guy that you could tell had the pressure in this entire city. This chat's been very on Stuart Skinner's ass. Bang, that second period comes as a brutal, I don't know what he was thinking in that moment, how he did not read that play to move over. That was one of the most obvious wraparound situations ever. As I mentioned, Brandon Hagel, a dog, but it wasn't that good of a play. That's one where, especially 30 seconds in, you expect Stuart Skinner to be dialed in. And then, right, the next one, the Janmark blocks the shot. Still don't really understand how that puck still deflected in that way. Either way, whatever. The next one after that, it's a Nick Paul redirection goal. Overall, what was your thought of Stuart Skinner's performance? I thought it was better than Saturday, but there's definitely going to be that one egregious goal there, the Brandon Hagel one.
Definitely better than Saturday against Philadelphia. Better than Sunday against the Capitals. Still not quite good enough, though. I don't think he had a bad performance. I wouldn't lay this one at his feet. I mean, for me, the bigger issue is kind of the lack of offensive urgency from the Oilers, especially as the game kind of wore on into the third period. So, again, I think that Hagel one, we'll talk about it here during the scoring summary again. But, I think that's the one that's kind of the one that you really want to see him kind of get there, right? So, yeah, disappointing game, disappointing loss again here. Skinner could have been better in some moments, but again, I don't think this one's on him like it was on Saturday.
And it's like the first period, it could have been a lot worse before it got better there, because Stu was standing on his head in the first 20 minutes. And then the Tampa Bay side of things, right? This team red hot right now, brother. Winners of now 6 in a row dating back to February 5th. And you got to give their offense credit. They had way more puck possession, way more shots on net than the Edmonton Oilers. They know how to keep a team hemmed in their own end. It felt like it happened a number of times in this game. Their offensive possession and numbers was very, very apparent, almost doubling the Oilers in possession time at points, and they would go right. Just your classic well-coached John Cooper team, low to high, high to low, just making Oilers defenders very tired out there. Traffic in front, shots from the points, and they had constant move at Tampa Bay. They're a very good hockey team. I said on pre-gaming, they don't really get the same hype and love and appreciation as previous years. Obviously, when they won the Stanley Cup, but they're third in their division for a reason, and they're not a team, especially when Andrei Vasilevsky is playing the way he is. .920 save percentage coming into this one. Tampa Bay, not a team I want to be playing against. But let's relive it all, Zachary. Let's go to our Greta Bar Yag scoring summary, brought to you by Greta Bar. And people, said it on pre-gaming, and I'll tell you again, March 14th, you want to come down to Greta Bar Yag, because we are having a little bit of a flight night at Greta is what we are calling it. Join us March 14th at Greta Bar as we watch Edmonton take on New York. And you, that's right, I'm pointing at you, the viewer at home, you could find a way to win yourself a trip for you and a guest to come on the Nation vacation April 30th to Wait, March 30th to April 2nd. Yep, that's right. It wasn't on the graphic. I had to free ball that one in my head. But you can get your tickets, nationgear.ca. It's an event at Greta. You get your tickets. You get entered to get in this trivia whole thing we got going on there. And one lucky winner will have them and a guest come on the Nation vacation simply for coming and partying at Greta. That's one hell of a deal. So I expect to see a lot of you familiar faces out there. And then you can party with me, Brett, Ty, Pat, all the entire crew. We're gonna be having a great time in Las Vegas. Let's relive this one now. Let's go. Starts positive, then it just gets terrible. But let's enjoy the very first one because it's Leon Draisaitl's 43rd goal of the season. It's a power play goal. And dude, it is the most simple give and go executed play you've ever seen. Leon Draisaitl straight up untouched. 29 to 97, back to 29. Don't really know what the Tampa Bay Lightning PK was thinking here. Draisaitl beats Andrei Vasilevsky, I believe blocker side there, which Leon now has 6 games in a row with a goal. Zach, started positive. Vibes were good. What were you feeling here?
It's feeling great. Here we go. Early lead. Another one. You love to see it. Unfortunately, this was about as much enjoyment as we really got out of watching this game. Shout out to the Lightning defenders for giving Draisaitl all that space for number 43 on the year. I don't understand why you give so much open ice to the NHL's leading goal scorer, but hey, he's not going to complain about it. He's going to take advantage of it, right? I mean, you take a look at it here. It's like 15, 20 seconds into this power play, and the Oilers were able to get on the board early on it. So 16 seconds exactly, actually. So you like it. You like to see that. Good to see the power play find a way to convert early for the team.
Absolutely. It's kind of baffling to keep rewatching this because, like, why would you ever want to cover Leon Draisaitl in his office in that area with 97 right around him as well? A little crazy, but that's really all the good we got in this entire hockey game because it moves along. It's Michael Eysimont's 5th of the season. It's 1-1 Lightning because Kasperi Kapanen turns the puck over in the neutral zone. You see it there. Quick strike offense from the Tampa Bay Lightning. They work it back, and then Eyssimont goes a little forehand, backhand, roofs that thing over Stuart Skinner. I mean, I would have liked to have seen more of a back check from, I believe it was Kasperi Kapanen. No, maybe it was, Kapanen. He's the slow one in there. Maybe it was Rico. Either way, shitty play to see here. One that is just a result of a lackadaisical turnover in the neutral zone, which was a mind-numbing story all weekend long. Tough one for the Edmonton Oilers to give up here, Zach.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Kasperi Kapanen's the transporter of the puck for those 3 guys. I mean, Rico and Perry don't necessarily have the boots to do so anymore. So, when the fastest forward that's out there on the ice gets caught up in the neutral zone trying to carry the puck, coughs it up, and it goes the other way, you're not going to have a good time, as the Edmonton Oilers did not have a good time here. So, an ugly one here. You got to wonder if Kapanen's going to sit a game here on Tuesday against, or what is it going to be? Thursday against Florida. So, tough one to kind of cough up there in the neutral zone.
I mentioned Matthias Janmark had a very similar type play, turnover in the neutral zone that resulted in a goal Saturday against Philly. You can bet your ass he was sitting up in the press box Sunday against Washington. So maybe Jeff Skinner, maybe we've got a path for you to get back in the lineup. I'm seeing Jeff Skinner's having a field day in the chat right now. Really enjoying his alter ego. So shout out to you, Jeffrey Scotty Skinner. All right, then we get to the second period. 29 seconds into said second period, the Edmonton Oilers give up a goal. Say goodbye to pretty much the entire game here. Hagel, I keep saying it. He's a dog. He's a dog with a W. He wins that race to the puck, and then he goes behind the net. Felt like a pretty obvious thing that he was about to do here. I was expecting the wraparound play, and he beats Skinner to the post, while, as you'll see right there in front of you, Evan Bouchard, once again, the word is lackadaisical there because he does make an effort, just not nearly the type of effort that I'm trying to look for. But, I mean, it's really who do you want to blame more here? Because Stuart Skinner, this simply cannot happen. You need to be way more aware. I think everybody online was, what were you thinking? He's like nearly almost a whole second behind in reacting to Brandon Hagel going behind the net. Zach, this sucked 29 seconds into the period.
Yeah, it did. For as much as I think we can sit here and say it'd be great to see Evan Bouchard bear down on that one at the opposite post, Skinner, like, what are you doing? Like, you got to get across. I mean, it's so clearly a wraparound attempt. And, we can only really see, like, with this replay, this angle here. When I was watching this, I almost wondered if, like, his skate got stuck because, like, he turned his upper body, but, like, the rest of the lower body didn't kind of quite go at first. But there's the overhead angle from above, and his skate doesn't get stuck. He doesn't get stuck anywhere. It's just poor mechanics. I mean, I don't know what the hell, like what the hell do I know about goaltending mechanics? You know what I mean? But just from watching it, you can kind of see like something kind of isn't right there for him. And he's very slow to react. And that's where the issue really is with this one for me. Again, you'd like to see Bouchard kind of bear down a little bit more in that spot, right? But Skinner's got to get across there. It's so clear that Brandon Hagel is carrying the puck around the net. Whether he's going for a wraparound attempt or not, you got to be able to get across the ice to go and cover the other side of the rink, right? So unable to do so. Very disappointing goal to give up really early on in that second period.
I agree with you. I don't want to get it misconstrued. No way am I blaming Evan Bouchard for that goal. Stuart Skinner, that's insane. Like, I'm not a goaltender, but if the puck's going to that half of the ice, you got to move your body to that side. And I think everyone and their dog knew that Brandon Hagel was, like you said, maybe not even a wraparound, but at least transporting the puck to that side of the ice. And it was a whole 1,000 before Stuart Skinner was able to react. And as I mentioned earlier, after that, man, the game was pretty much completely flipped. We then did get 3-1 Lightning. It's Victor Hedman, his 9th of the season. It's a power play goal. It's on the 2-man advantage. And this one, it's tough, right? Because, I mean, you only got 3 dudes on the ice. You get the block from Matthias Janmark, getting in the lane, eating one from Victor Hedman, but then it redirects, bounces. I can't even really tell where the hell this puck even went, but it beats Stuart Skinner. And before you know it, like I said, just like that, 5:38 into the second period, all of a sudden the Edmonton Oilers are down 2 goals. And then at this point, still had another penalty they had to kill off.
Yeah, block it or don't. I think that's what I'm going to say here about this one. If you're going to get in the lane, make sure you get all of that puck and block it, because this is what happens when you don't. The shot careens off of Matthias Janmark and finds its way into the back of the net. Kind of a fluky one, kind of an unfortunate one. Kind of one that Stuart Skinner really couldn't do a whole lot on. That puck changed direction very, very quickly and found its way past him. So obviously disappointing to see. I guess give him some credit for being able to kill off the second one after this one here. But yeah, that was an ugly one for sure.
Said key to victory, cannot allow the Tampa Bay Lightning to get on the man advantage, or at least the Oilers PK right now can't afford, as I mentioned, their last 12 games. They're 30th in the NHL on PK percentage. That's going to go down even more so after this one. And then it's the third period. It's Nick Paul with his 18th of the season. This dude, every time I see him, he's big, he's thick, he's mean, and he can score goals. Darnell Nurse will kind of see it. He's got an untimely pinch right here. Nikita Kucherov is one of the best players in the league for reasons exactly like that. Very heads-up play, sends the puck down the ice for Jake Gensel to win the race, get down there and meet it, centers it out in front where Nick Paul redirects the puck past Stuart Skinner. Saw a lot of people online disappointed with how Ryan Nugent-Hopkins competes in this back check here, because he's in position, he can do it, just gets out-muscled by Nick Paul, which maybe I'm not blaming him for being out-muscled by a guy with that much more muscle than him, but it was a frustrating one because you can kind of see this one developing from a mile away. But Zach, there was 12:30-something left in the game when this one crossed the goal line, and right there I went, all right, going to start getting prepared for a losing version of Oilers Nation After Dark.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is what happens when you have a 6'4", 230-pound guy going up against a 6'1", 192-pound guy. Big man's going to win that one. Big man wins this one. Again, just it's kind of an unfortunate one. Yeah, you'd love to see Nuge kind of make the play there. I think the thing that was a little disappointing for me was it just felt like a lackadaisical back check from everybody else. Like, it felt like everybody else just kind of gave up on that play. besides Ekholm and Nugent Hopkins. So, you'd like to see everybody bear down a little bit. I don't know if it would have made a difference or anything like that, given that it was, kind of a bang bang play out in front like that. But you know what? Great deflection there by Nick Paul. Again, really not a whole lot that Skinner could do on that one.
And just like that, that's all she wrote as the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Edmonton Oilers by a score of 4-1. For the Edmonton Oilers, 4th straight loss in a row, and Tampa Bay's 6th straight win in a row. One thing's going up, one thing's going way down. And unfortunately, I'm very too aware of which one of those we are, but that'll do it for your Greta Bar scoring summary. Andrei Vasilevsky gets the win, 23 saves on 24 shots. He had a .958 save percentage. And then, as I mentioned, Stuart Skinner, 32 of 36 for an .889. So his save percentage on the season will stay below 900. Because I think we've all covered this game. This game is not on Stuart Skinner. He definitely gave the Oilers a chance to win in the first, but everything falls apart. Let's go now to the good, the bad, and the oily, brought to you by Oodle Noodle, people. Come on. I don't got to tell you how delicious it is. Zach, you ordered Tokyo Glaze, I believe, while we were doing pre-gaming. How delicious was it?
It was tremendous. Ate the entire box. Went with the Sonny's battered chicken for it. Really a big fan of that. Found that and mixing it in a little bit more lately. Had arguably one of the best green onion cakes of my entire life ever tonight. That was a pretty nice treat for me. Really good way to rebound after falling out of my chair during pre-gaming. So it was really nice that Oodle Noodle was there to quite literally pick.
Yeah, if you guys didn't see it in pre-gaming, Zach literally fell out of his chair. It was quite hilarious, quite embarrassing. And personally, I can't wait to clip that and put that online at your expense. Also with Oodle Noodle, though, download the Oodle Noodle app, order takeout or delivery. It's easy, and you can earn free Oodle Noodle. Sign up for our loyalty program through the app. Customers get 1,500 loyalty points, a $15 value just for signing up. The Oodle Noodle app is available in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Did you hear what I just said? Points worth $15. Don't walk, run to go get the Oodle Noodle app right now. And then let's talk about some good, some bad, and some oilies. You may recognize this good from Sunday because, frankly, it's the only positive storyline kind of going on in Oilers Nation right now. It's league-leading Leon Draisaitl. He just continues to score goals, dude. He's got goals now in 6 straight games, up to 43 on the season, which I believe is now 10 up on second place. He is running away with the Rocket Richard Trophy race right now. Just knocking on wood. 60 goals seems like it's almost inevitable at the pace that he's on right now, and he just continues to find a way. We mentioned it there. Tampa Bay, what are you doing leaving Leon Draisaitl alone, untouched in his own office, able to work a give and go with the other best player on planet Earth? He's on a run right now, goal scoring wise, that we've never really seen from Leon Draisaitl. It is almost Alexander Ovechkin-esque what Leon is doing right now. Everybody knows they need to stop him. Everybody knows where his office is going to be. Sound familiar? Kind of sounds like Alexander Ovechkin. Leon Draisaitl in a very, very, very dark stretch right now is a nice shining beacon of light for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, absolutely. He has been absolutely tremendous. Now tied for the lead in power play goals as well, with 13 on the season. He's been just tremendous. Like, he's just scoring at will right now. A 10-goal lead over William Nylander right now. Hello, he's running away with this thing right now. And just so you do know, Bordzy, it is a 61-goal pace he is on right now. He is on a 60-goal pace. Great to see, 50 is well within reach for him once again in his career. Looks like he's the runaway for the Rocket Richard, man, and he's making one hell of a Hart Trophy bid this season too.
I got a plus 450 Leon Draisaitl Hart Trophy ticket, Zach. So keep on giving me all the goals. I did Hart Trophy. I didn't do Rocket Richard. So I need a little bit extra. I see Southpaw's in. He says, Cup, yeah. And then also, it was a Cato, said Leon proving that its $14 million contract is still a steal of a deal, baby. Especially when you think about the projections we saw for the NHL salary cap going up in the next 1, 2, 3 years, $14 million is going to be such a bargain for one of the best players and right now the best goal scorer in the entire NHL. Now, the bad, it's tough. We've already kind of touched on it, but I couldn't pick anything else for the bad. It's the Brandon Hagel goal. Like, it's a 1-1 game heading into the second period. You're not perfect in the first, but you're still in that hockey game. You weren't happy with how the Oilers played, but you were still in that hockey game. And 29 seconds in, you have an absolute brain fart from your goaltender in Stuart Skinner, not able to move side to side in time. I mentioned Evan Bouchard. You'd like him to make a play there, but simply Stuart Skinner, you got to wake up and you got to be on your post in that one. And after that point, the Edmonton Oilers, they never had a lead. Tampa Bay, they never looked back. The bad, thoroughly, the TSN turning point of that entire hockey game was the Brandon Hagel goal. Damn it, Pat, we're going to watch this one more time. This is the last time. I don't understand what was going on in Stuart Skinner's head, but we've already touched on it, Zach. Should we just move along?
My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
That's an excellent Simpsons reference right there from Rainier Wolfcastle. Shout out, Zach. That's why I love doing these shows with you. All right, after that, you've topped everything I could possibly say. That was a great reference. Let's go from good to bad to oily. And the oily in this one, we went with one day closer to the NHL trade deadline. The way the Edmonton Oilers have looked in these past 4 games, feels like there's a couple of needs on this roster, but I think most notably, without a doubt, top 4 right D, someone to play with Darnell Nurse. Troy Stetcher was in the lineup tonight. It was John Klingberg at other points. Either way, it's feeling with every game here that neither one of them is going to be the answer, and the Oilers are going to need to go out and make a move. Speaking of trade deadline, pull it up right here, Patrick. We got our own trade deadline show, Daily Face Off Live, going to be hitting you March 7th. Starts at 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. The best trade deadline coverage, period, as you see on the bottom of your screen. I'm producing that bad boy. The entire Oilersnation Nation Network team, all bands together across the country for this bad boy. You got instant analysis, breaking stuff. Frank Saravoli up in his little trade box, Insider Cam. That's what we call it, Insider Cam. It's going to be an awesome time. And going to be several hours where I am not allowed to urinate. So hopefully I don't drink a lot of water that day. Zach, though, oily, the deadline. I know you. You're a sicko like me. We love trade season. We love silly season. You're excited for the deadline. Of course you are.
Yeah, of course I am. Really excited for it. Can't wait for the Edmonton Oilers to acquire one player at the trade deadline, for Evander Kane to roll back and for everybody to be like, but he's like a trade deadline acquisition, because I can just foresee it happening here right now. We still don't have any clarity about, Evander Kane's status. Ryan Rishaug during the first intermission, posted on social media that the Oilers are still kind of waiting for team doctors to get a good evaluation here of where Evander Kane is at. Obviously, that's going to have a huge impact on what the Oilers are able to do come the trade deadline because of the salary cap situation. They really don't have any wiggle room right now beyond that $5 million or the 5.124, I should say, that's in LTIR pool. With Evander Kane's contract being there right now. So kind of got to figure out what's going on with Kaner before the Oilers can really figure out what they're going to do ahead of next Friday's deadline. So nonetheless, I'm excited for it. Deadline week is always a really, really fun time around these parts. I
don't really know how it works, but Evander Kane, just be a team player. Team doctor, just be a team player. Just sit this one out. We've seen everybody else do it for previous years. Mark Stone, Kane Kucherov, all kinds of names. Come on. Let's cheat a little bit. Just be a team guy. I understand, Kane, you want to get back in. You want to feel good and comfortable heading into the NHL playoffs. But come on. Just come on. Throw me a bone, man, and find a way for the Edmonton Oilers to utilize that salary cap. And as I said, cheat the system. I've been seeing everybody else do it. Damn it. I want to get a kick at the can as well, but that will do it for the good, the bad, and the oily. Let's go now to our booms and our dooms, brought to you by Odd Company Nation Beer Everyday Lager. We appreciate them. They're the best. Said it earlier. They're the only thing that makes some of these games feel positive right now for the Edmonton Oilers and myself. Throw in your booms, throw in your doom. Zachary, you're my guest. I'll let you go first because I think I got 2 booms I can give out tonight. So if you take one of them, that's fine. You go first.
Perfect. I appreciate that because I do think that you know where I'm going to go with this one. Matt Savoy. I thought it was another really solid game from him here tonight. I'd like to see a little bit more minutes for him. You know, he only played 13 minutes at 5-on-5 here, but he was generating. He had a couple of scoring chances. You know, out in front of the net, he had 2 shots on goal there. Just, I'm really excited for this guy. Like, I'm really excited to think about him like a year from now, 2 years from now, because he's looking awesome already, like very early on in his Oilers career here, his Oilers tenure, following up on all of these good things that we've heard about him from the Bakersfield Condors. You know, there was one instance in the first period that really stood out to me where he had carried the puck into the offensive zone, kind of helped generate a bit of a scoring chance for the Oilers. And then the puck quickly ended up turning around and going back the other way. And he busted his ass to get back to the defensive zone. He like was head down grinding to get back there and was able to make a play in front of the net that, you know, kind of helped thwart a Lightning scoring chance. So if he's doing that out there every shift, every game, sign me up, man, because if he's going to put that kind of effort in, he should be up with a big club through the rest of the year.
Matt Savoy, he was one of the 2 that I was going to give my boom to. Sorry, my boom to. He just continues to impress. Every shift, every game here is just getting better and better. I mentioned before, he doesn't look out of place whatsoever, dude. He fits like a glove and said a lot over the last couple of games here, but his hockey IQ is just so apparent. He's just such a smart hockey player. Louis was saying it a bunch. He's always in the right position. He had one there in the third period. Puck bounces off the boards, comes right back to him in front of the net. And Louis goes, hey, you got to be smart to be in that position, to be in that dangerous spot. Now, kind of fanned on the shot a little bit and didn't get it off, but we've seen enough flashes here. And you see Leon Draisaitl setting him up for one-timers, how Savoy just has a knack for opening up the little soft spots in the offensive end. And Leon Draisaitl, if he starts to trust you, which it looks like he's starting to trust Matt Savoy, the sky's the limit, man. He's going to be feeding you backhand, no-look sauce from across the entire ice, let alone in the offensive zone. So Matt Savoy, very excited to see what he's going to be bringing for the Edmonton Oilers. So far, so good. I think we would all agree in saying my boom, though, the guy I want to give it to, he helped us cash one of our bets. Now, I was going to go with Matt Savoy first. He's my 1A, but I'm going to say Darnell Nurse is going to be my 1B in this hockey game. Darnell on the evening, 2013, 4 blocks, 2 hits, 2 shots, which helped me cash my bet as well. But I don't know, in a game, I just felt like he was noticeable a lot in the first and second period. He was just being physical. Once again, kind of grasping at straws. I can't pick Leon Draisaitl because he was the good, and you picked Matt Savoy. So I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here, and I'm going with Darnell Nurse. Got any dooms as well here, Zachary? I mean, we did lose 4-1 in this hockey game. Anybody you want to give a big fat doom to?
I mean, I hate to kind of go back to it, but Stuart Skinner on that Hagel goal, can we talk about it a little more? I don't want to. That's probably where I got to go with it. I mean, that was just a really ugly one. And I guess, you know, I think it can almost just doom the entire forward group for like refusing to shoot the puck as of late here. Start shooting the puck, guys. It's what you need to do out there on the ice.
I'm going to say, because you mentioned that of how needing to shoot the puck, I'm going to give my doom to Chris Knobloch for not having Jeff Skinner in the lineup in this hockey game. I could also, in a way, give it to Victor Arvidsson because that top line didn't do dick all, but I mean, he got taken off the line at points and then thrown back together. It was a whole mess out there. So I'm going to say my doom goes to both Chris Knobloch and Victor Arvidsson. I would really like to see Jeff Skinner back in the lineup Thursday against the Florida Panthers. I understood that like the Oilers defense was so bad in the last 2 games that you wanted to put your best defensive foot forward in this hockey game against a red hot offense in the Tampa Bay Lightning. But Matthias Janmark, I don't think is that much better than Jeff Skinner defensively. I guess I'll say the current Jeff Skinner version that I saw in late January, early February, because that version of Jeff Skinner was doing all the little things, was back checking, was covering in front of his net, while still having the offensive intangibles that I know Janmark doesn't have, that I know Kapanen doesn't have. So, and including Victor Arvidsson, who was up on the top line. But who knows, brother? That's why Chris Knobloch coaches the team, and I do not. We're done with that. Let's move to Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. This was vaguely positive, slightly positive on this one. So we take a look here. First bet of the day, Hyman to get 3 shots on goal at a nice -105. Hit it for me, Patrick. Cha-ching! And that one's got a big fat green check mark on it. Zach Hyman on the evening finished with 3 shots on goal in 16:50 time on ice. The other one, kind of already spoiled it. Darnell Nurse, bang, he gets 2 shots on goal in the evening. This one just -200. Zach, I joked and talked about thinking turning this one up to 3 shots on goal, but nope, just had to see it go through the hoop. We got a simple 2. And then finally, wanted the McDavid anytime goal on this one, because going into it, 13 career games against the Lightning, McDavid had 12 career goals. Unfortunately, hit it for me. That one is a big fat red X. Can't win them all, but we got 2 out of 3. I always bet them individually and then parlay them together as well. And I do so responsibly, only betting what I'm willing to lose. And of course, only doing it on Bet365, because as I said, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Zachary, did you profit on anything? Because I'm pretty sure you rode with both of the Bretts that have big fat green check marks.
That's right. I did ride with both of those. I had a couple other bets on the game too. I had Leon Draisaitl shot prop. He was over 2.5. I like that one here tonight. And I was also riding Evan Bouchard for over 2.5 shots. He ended with 2, which was a little disappointing because I had parlayed all 3 of my straight bets together. Needed one more of those shot attempts from Bouchard to find a way to hit the net. So I'm still okay with that though. You know, I bet what I was willing to lose. Went 2 for 3. I'll take it.
Smart man, smart man, smart man. Let me know in the chat if anybody rode with, anybody made some money. I just continue to see that Jeff Skinner is he's enjoying it in the chat today. So I'm happy to see him in there. Hopefully he gets back into the lineup. Let's go now. Let's talk tattoo bet, I guess, here, because I did see earlier Brett Holden, producer Brett Holden. He's off tonight, but of course he got in the chat and he had to call me a nerd or a dork, whatever it was. The tattoo bet's brought to you by, oh, nice. Okay, we'll do this first. He's closing the gap, damn it. He's closing the gap. I had a 2 block shot lead heading into this one. Brett Kulak, big fat goose egg on the evening in the block shots category, while Ty Emberson had 1. And I believe I started in here earlier, Brett Holden. Emerson had a block, by the way, nerd. Kulak didn't, though, dork. So bullying, I guess, is back, if that's what we're going to be doing here, Brett. No, it's all in good fun. I understand. But Brett Kulak couldn't eat one. Zachary, you're a tattoo man. Oh, yeah, you have Millpool on your leg as well, that I do know about that. Great Simpsons reference. Any recommendations for what Brett and I should be putting on the line for this bad boy?
No, I haven't really thought about it a whole lot. I mean, I think it would kind of be funny, like, to have the caricature of the other person from that photo. You know, so like if you win, then Brett has to get that, you know, photo of you tattooed and vice versa. I mean, could you imagine spending the rest of your life with that photo of Brett, a loaf of bread on you? That would be pretty hilarious.
That'd be pretty damn good. I mean, I could never forget Brett Holden, no matter what. He's arguably the loudest person that I've ever met, including myself. I've heard myself before. But with something like that on my thigh for the rest of my life, I'd be looking down at him basically every single day. So shout out Brett, shout out the EPS as well, because the tattoo bet brought to you by EPS, the Edmonton Police Service. We want to remind you to curb the danger. Report an impaired driver by calling 911 if you suspect that a driver is impaired by drugs or alcohol. Call 911 immediately. You'll be asked to report the last direction of travel, vehicle description, and plate number. If possible, keep the vehicle in sight, but do not attempt to chase the vehicle or break the law to do so. Remember, driving under the influence of drugs is impaired driving, even if it is cannabis or prescription medication. vacations. Be smart out there, people. Still a weekday, but especially on the weekends as well. Get an Uber, be smart, or get a cab. One thing I was going to mention it there with Bordzy's Bankroll Bet 365. I had the McDavid anytime goal, Zach. What'd you think of Connor McDavid in this hockey game, right? Because I thought Connor McDavid looked more like Connor McDavid, if you know what I mean. He had been struggling, I'm putting in quotations, by Connor McDavid standards since his suspension. You had a good article on Oilersnation.com. Jason Greger noted a lot in the last 4 games at 5v5. McDavid getting absolutely caved in. But I thought he showed some good flashes. Couple rushes up the ice where he does the things that only 97 can do out there on the ice. A few dangerous chances. The one where he had the 2-on-1 with Leon Draisaitl, and of course he decided to pass that puck 2 feet in front of Andrei Vasilevsky. Kind of frustrated me there, but like as you had said earlier in the show, I'm not going to tell Connor McDavid how to play hockey. What'd you think of number 97, the Oilers captain this evening?
I thought he looked better tonight. I thought he looked more engaged. And I think that's a really important thing with him. He looked engaged out there. He was trying to generate. He was trying to create. It looked more like the McDavid that we're used to seeing and not the McDavid that we saw on Saturday and Sunday. So hopefully, he's kind of shaken off whatever's been going on, or, shaken off having to jump back right into a back-to-back the way he did over the weekend. Hopefully he can kind of get up for these next couple of games, because these are going to be 2 really important ones for the Oilers. They got to find a way to win at least one of these games and hopefully walk out of wins in both of them. So going to be interesting to see what happens over these next couple of nights. But again, I thought it was promising that he had a strong game out there tonight.
Yeah, I thought it was much better. Hunter's in says 60 goal scorer McJesus. I saw somebody. Yeah, there it is. McKay and Dry. We need McShoot first. Yeah, I think that's a lot of Oilers fans and Oilers Nation fans would agree with that one. But Thursday, when he has Jeff Skinner on his wing, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be ready to rock again. Zach Hyman is going to elevate his play, because even him today, once again, he had the 3 shots on goal. He cashed my bet. That's all I asked for. But I still need more from Zach Hyman. He just doesn't look like the 54 goal scorer that we saw last season. You mentioned it on pre-gaming. He does it in spurts a lot. Could really use one of those hot stretches for Zach Hyman. Put the bubble back on his face, because when he had that, he was doing unreal things out there on the ice. It kind of feels like since he's lost that bubble, he's lost a little bit of what has made him Zachary Martin Hyman. Final one, I guess. Let's just go to the look ahead, because Thursday it is the Florida Panthers. The Oilers road trip continues. I mean, they've been on the road for quite some time here, and they will continue to be. Going to be an early one as well, an early 4 p.m. pre-gaming with Bordzy for that one. But 4-game losing streak might get worse, brother. Oilers' schedule is just simply not kind to them right now. They've got Carolina after this one. But where's your confidence level heading into Thursday against the Florida Panthers? We know Matthew Tkachuk is at least banged up. So there's one positive, that they should be expected to be down a man. But damn it, Zach, this is a tough stretch to be playing some of your worst hockey all season.
It is. But hopefully it's just that. Hopefully it's just a tough stretch. They're looking a bit lost out there right now. Chris Knoblaw said after the game, the Oilers are a, quote, fragile group right now, end quote, according to Ryan Rashog. It's a pretty good way to kind of express it. I think they do look a bit fragile right now. And you got to figure out a way to get out of this little bit of a slump. What better way to do so than against the team that beat you in Game 7 of the Cup Finals last year? I'm expecting the Oilers to really be up for this game. This is a really, really important game for them. They need to find a way to come out of Florida with a victory here. So, weird to talk about the end of February, there being like a real must-win kind of a game, but it kind of feels like a must-win kind of a game to me, Bordzy. So, like you said, no Matthew Tkachuk likely for the Florida Panthers. He's dealing with some kind of injury or ailment that occurred during the Four Nations there. So doesn't sound like there's any real timetable for his return either. So hopefully for the Oilers' sake, he can remain out of the lineup on Thursday night.
I just want to say, Pat, pull that thing back up, that schedule, because December was beautiful with big fat orange W's. January was gorgeous with big fat orange W's. We look February right here, dude. This is disgusting to look at. I'm sorry, Pat, that I said pull it back up, because Ew, that is gross. All right, we're done with that now. I don't want any more bit of that. But one reason why I'm gonna definitely be betting Edmonton Oilers money line Thursday against the Panthers. Returning to the scene of the crime, losing Game 7. I think the Edmonton Oilers going to be highly motivated to get back into that building. But I'm reading this quote from Matthias Ekholm right now. It's gave me goosebumps here. We're giving up way too many chances. It's one of those things. We're in that funk right now, and it's going to take a gutsy effort, an ugly one, so to speak, that gets us out of it. It doesn't get uglier than when you play the Florida Panthers. And we think we might see some scraps in that hockey game. I think we're definitely going to be seeing some scrums in that game. And I hope we see an extra motivated Edmonton Oilers hockey club out there. Final thing I got to mention, just straight up, you can do it for many other ways, but come on the Nation vacation. Head on over to nationgear.ca if you just want to buy a ticket, like how we're all buying tickets and coming on this trip. It's going to be an awesome time. March 30th to April 2nd. There you see it on your screen. Visit nationgear.ca for more details. I like how I said that there, but come on this one. It's been an awesome time. We're staying on Fremont Street, staying at Circus Swim. Got all kinds of like transportations, basically everything that you do. You come to the Edmonton airport and we basically hold your hand the entire way until we get back to the Edmonton airport. For some people, that means they spend their time very intoxicated. For some people, they do other things. To each their own. Either way, we could be partying together in Viva Las Vegas. So come on down before this thing is sold out. Zachary, is there anything else that you want to touch on? Or we can head out right now because, frankly, I'm getting sick and tired of doing these games or doing these shows after losses like this. This isn't as much fun, brother.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, my man. I agree with you. I don't really think I got a whole lot to add here. Again, I think these next couple of games, are really going to be important for the Edmonton Oilers. It doesn't get a whole lot easier here with these next couple of games. Going into Florida to visit the Panthers, going into Carolina to visit the Hurricanes, who lost tonight. I think it was like, what was the final score in that game actually? Because I know I had a bet on the old Habs puck line. Yeah, 4-0 shutout for Montreal over Carolina. So they're struggling right now. The nice thing, I guess, for the Edmonton Oilers here is that, coming out of this 5-game road trip, they go back home next week to play the Anaheim Ducks on Tuesday, the Montreal Canadiens next Thursday night. So it gets a little bit easier and can go from there.
We up, brother. We just got to get there first and see what happens along the way. Also, Mr. Burns, I saw what you said in the chat. You'd think I'd forget about super chats? Of course not. We got a couple in here, even when we lose. Reminder, all your super chat donations are in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, cause that does incredible things, including awesome cancer research. They get magical experiences for families dealing with kids with cancer. And come on, the Stelters are fantastic. Brunch for Ben on Saturday. The Oilers got, as I said on pre-gaming, spanked on Saturday against Philadelphia Flyers. But we had so much fun regardless of what happened out there on the ice. I don't know. It was just a great vibe always, of course, because things are in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation. Pretty sure we raised $7,500, which right there, that's a couple magical experiences for some kids and some families that needed that. But Mr. Burns is in here. She says $2. Don't forget, Vegas just had a 4-game slump too. Good point in there, Mr. Burns. And Percy Not Jackson, $6.69. Nice. Says, I'm a little stitious, so sorry Oilers lost all these games I couldn't watch, but hope will never die. This team will find their way. No clown wig needed. I can see the clown wig right here from where I'm sitting right now, and we ain't pulling it out. It's only a 4-game losing streak. Come on, we'll be back better than ever. Highly motivated against the Florida Panthers, right? Things are going bad right now. You just need some emotion, some bad blood to get you back into it. That's what we got on our hands. Thursday, I'll be live for that one. Pregame with Bordzy, I believe starting at 4 p.m. that day. I got Coombsy with me for that one. And then tomorrow, Oilers Nation every day. We got a loaded show, and we've just had 4 straight losses. So Louis Brusque, unfortunately, couldn't make the show earlier today. Had some scheduling conflicts. So tomorrow we have Louis DeBrusque, Frank Saravalli, and the Edmonton Oilers have lost 4 games in a row. Something tells me that show's going to be pretty spicy. 12:01 Mountain Standard Time on the Oilers Nation YouTube. I also mentioned before, we got a new Frankly Speaking tomorrow. His sit-down interview with Edmonton Oilers general manager Stan Bowman. Also, speaking of Bowmans, you're right. Okay, hold on. I got one more thing. What did you think about Sportsnet playing the Oscars music during Scotty Bowman's interview with Gene Principe? It was so funny. Shout out Scotty Bowman for 91 years old. That dude looks awesome. That dude could have kept on talking for another 10 minutes. I would have listened to the entire thing. Gene Principe, way too polite. He's not gonna interrupt a goat like that in Mr. Bowman. That is, but I don't know. That entire moment was pretty hilarious. I was chuckling, Zach.
He's 91 years old?
I believe that's what they said online. That's what I saw online.
Oh my God. He talks like he's 31 years old. That was very, very impressive. The outro music
He's 91. He's 91.
Oh my God. I hope I'm in that good a shape at 91 years old, damn it. But no, the outro music, trying to kind of usher and move it along back into the commercial break, was absolutely hilarious. You could absolutely tell that Gene and Mr. Bowman there could literally talk, as Gene said, the rest of the entire game there. And honestly, Bordzy, I think I would have rather listened to Gene and Mr. Bowman talk for the entire third period than watch what that third period was from the Edmonton Oilers.
Dude, those guys could tell some stories, I'm sure. Mr. Bowman, I bet he's seen some shit in his day. That is, back being in the game for that long, I'm sure he could tell stories for days. But either way, that will do it for us for Oilers Nation After Dark. I appreciate y'all in the chat. Throw down your courtesy or your pity because the Edmonton Oilers continue to keep getting spanked by teams on this Eastern Conference road trip. It's not getting easier. Thursday against the Florida Panthers. Like I said, Oilers Nation every day tomorrow, 12:01 Mountain Standard Time. Thank you to you, Zach. Thank you to Patrick Puff behind the scenes. Intern Payton as well. I hope on Thursday we get a different result, but either way, I'll still be here. I'll still be giving you betting picks, and we'll still be here for unlicensed citywide therapy. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Sleep tight. We will talk tomorrow and Thursday. Peace out.